Oh, is she missing two fingers? Pinky and ring finger? She better not open her eyes.
I never thought I would be alive after what just happened to me. My life was normal, like every other 24-year-old,
She
living in a
typing
normal
like that with
house,
one hand?
earning through a normal job. But who can predict the future? I am Emma, and this is my story. I was an only child, and my parents raised me with pure love and care. After moving out, they shifted to New Orleans, and I came to Ohio.
No, no.
My once classmate, Philip Hoffman, helped me to get a job in his brother's advertising
Philip
agency.
Hoffman.
I was more than happy the day I got my first paycheck. I rented a small house, turned it into my home with old furniture
Damn, that
and
was a
garage
hell of a
sales,
paycheck.
and planned to earn a lot of money so I could travel the world. But life rarely goes the way you plan it. I lived in a quiet neighborhood and mostly kept to myself. I'm not much of a talker, and I have always been an introvert since I was in school. The only man I talked to at times was Mr. Prickly, my next door neighbor. After his wife's death, he was living alone in his big house, but he was a kind man. Every morning, while leaving for the office, I would see him sitting on his porch sipping coffee. He would greet me with a joyful smile, and I'd wave at him while doing the same. This was more or less my usual start to the day. On weekends, I preferred staying
Damn,
home
you got
or
two
watching
bowls of
Netflix and not
popcorn?
eating junk food. At times, I joined
Sheesh.
my colleagues for a drink at a pub near the highway. So last Friday, when I was leaving for home after finishing work, my
Look at
colleagues
this
asked me to
motherfucker.
join them for a drink.
Why she look
Even
angry?
though I turned them down at first, they kept pestering me. I eventually agreed, having no other option.
You could
We
have just
walked
said
over to the
no.
pub, had a couple of drinks, and ate some chicken wings. I was feeling a bit tipsy, and I didn't want to overdo myself. I would have taken a cab, but I remembered I had to pick up some groceries for my weekend self enjoyment. One of my colleagues dropped me off at a gas station at 11:30 p.m.
Wait,
I
you
planned
should
to do a
just went
little
home.
shopping
Why'd
from
you just
there
go
and go
home?
home, which was no more than 5 or 7 minutes away from there.
Carrying
The only issue
groceries?
was I had to walk amidst the woods. I know it sounds like a bad idea, but I had done this many times before, so I didn't expect any trouble
Yeah,
along
so
the way.
why? What could possibly
The man
happen?
who runs the gas station was also familiar to me. His name was Ralph, and every time I went there to buy groceries, he would always
Fucking
tell a silly
Ralph.
joke to make me laugh. I entered the gas
Okay, Ralph
station
is a fucking
thinking,
creep.
here comes another stupid
Look at this
joke,
dude's
but
face.
instead was greeted by a skinny,
Oh, it's not
middle aged
Ralph.
woman. She barely had hairs on her head. Because of old age, they seemed
I was in my head when she said woman. I'm not trying to say anything, but I did not think that was a woman. It's like looking at this person. It's like whoever animated this clearly wanted you to be like, oh, this is a man. And then it's like, oh no, it's just an old woman. This person looks like, even for an old woman, like you look fucked up. Like, what the fuck? I would have just left. I ain't gonna lie, I would have walked in there, probably seen this person just staring at me. And I'd probably like, you know what? I get those groceries tomorrow when I'm sober. I just walked down because I don't know if she didn't have a car, she didn't drive. But they did show her in the back of a car, so I'm assuming that was an Uber or something. So she might not have a car, but I mean that doesn't necessarily mean that. But this shit would have showed up. I'm just gonna literally sprint home, which I've done in a situation where I was drunk and I literally just ran home and didn't even get tired. Really, I was like, whoa! I just ran like 3 miles without stopping.
to be falling out, exposing her pale, white skull. Her teeth were stained, and her eyes looked gloomy yet sharp. Good evening, Oh, hi. I was looking around the store in confusion when she spoke again. You weren't expecting someone else, were you? Nothing like that. I always see Ralph, so. Then you must be Emma, right? Yeah.
The
Do you
fuck? How
know
you
each
fuck
other?
you know her name?
No. But I have heard quite a lot about you from Ralph. He fell sick, so I'm covering for him tonight. I see.
Why would Ralph be
And
talking about
you
her?
are? I'm his mom, Ruby. Feel free to
Bitch,
look me
you a
up
lie.
and call me if you need help. I smiled awkwardly and grabbed a shopping basket. Something about this woman didn't give me a good vibe.
Yeah, cause she full of
It felt
shit.
strange that being so old, she was left to look after the gas station at such a late hour. But it was none of my business, so I walked to the shelves and grabbed the things I needed. I could feel her eyes on me the entire time. She was watching me
Just
from
raping
afar.
you.
When I finally headed back to the counter, she gave me an ear to ear grin and said, Will that be all? Yes. I gave her the basket and she started billing. I was searching my bag for my wallet when she asked me an unexpected question. Are you married? No.
Yes, I'd be like,
So,
yes.
do you wish to marry or just fool around? What? What do you mean?
You calling me a whore?
You know what I mean, Emma. Girls these days are much smarter than in
Oh,
my time.
okay.
Do your
I'm about to
parents
say she be
know
like,
this?
girls these days like to mess around. Like, bitch. Like, they like, listen, women have always liked to mess around. Dudes have always liked to mess around. I can't fucking stand it when people are like, people these days. Especially when people my age. I'm like, you're not that old to be talking about some people nowadays type shit. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's like, back in my day, I'm like, just like, get the fuck out of here. All right, with that dumb shit. Like, I experienced that from my father. You know, my father had me late in life, so he was, you know, like 2 generations away from me. But, well, actually, well, yeah, 2 generations. But, like, oh my God, like, I didn't like it. So why would I do that to the next generation and do the same thing? And I see people I know doing that. I'm like, stop it. Well, we just keep this cycle just going forever. Like, just criticizing the younger generation because it's like we are, I don't know, we jealous of their youth or what. I'm just like, back in my day, we did this and that. I'm like, oh, God. Even if it's something negative, that probably is more acceptable today than it was back then. Like, so what? Times change, things change. Like, get over it. Like, damn. Oops. Damn it, I went
What do
back.
you mean?
I accidentally hit
You
the.
know what I mean, Emma. Girls these days are much smarter than in my time. Do your parents know that you're a whore? Excuse me? You don't have to be ashamed of that.
How is she a
You are
whore?
attractive, and women also have needs. Look, I have no idea
How is
why
she a
you're saying all
whore?
this to me, but you should
Because
calm
she's
down,
out late?
lady. You are one hell of a bitch, Emma. You expect me to respect you when you're trying to take away my son? My only son?
The fuck are you
The
talking
only
about?
human being left in my life. How do you sleep at night, Emma?
Pamela
Knowing
Voorhees
that you're
type bitch?
snatching a son from a sickly old lady. Saying this, she spat on my face. I was
Wow.
completely taken aback by this
Hell
intrusion.
no. This
I
bitch would
said,
have got her wig split. That would mean I don't give a damn how old you are. You spit on me? Oh, hell no. Hell no. As soon as the spit would have made contact with my skin, it'd have been like the spit would have been coming and my fist would have, as soon as my fist would have would impacted her skin when the spit hit mine. Like, hell no. Bitch, what? Like, I don't want your son. What you talking about, you crazy ass whore? Like, she's just in shock because she was drinking, so she probably still tipsy. She's like, wait, what?
I stepped back in reflex and disgust and started to wipe my face with my shirt's long sleeve. Are you crazy? Why would I want to take away your son? He's my father's age, you crazy hag.
Oh? Then why the hell did he take pictures of you on his phone?
Your son's a
Why the
fucking
hell
creep.
does he talk about you so much? He is clearly in love with you, and you surely instigated him.
Oh,
My son wouldn't feel this way about you if you hadn't encouraged him, you dirty little slut.
she would have got roundhouse kick in the
Paralyzed
face.
with shock and fear. This woman is completely delusional. She can't even understand the fact
Bitch, just ring up my
that
shit.
son took pictures of me whenever I came to shop here. I was
It don't matter, even if he did.
for a second.
Like, what's she blaming you
Decide
for?
which matter I should be focusing on. The fact that Ralph is a creepy stalker or that his mother is a psycho. I was
Yeah,
trying
they
to
meant for each other.
from all these sudden revelations, but without
It makes
looking
sense that that's his mother.
I went to the counter and said, while looking into her hatred-burning eyes, "To hell with you, and to hell with your son, bloody psychos." But I wasn't ready for what came next. As soon as I said that, she lifted a huge
Whoa.
knife, which I think she hid all this time, waiting for the right moment, and slammed it on my hand, lying over the counter.
Oh, damn.
Even though I tried to move away, I was late. She chopped off my 2 fingers, and I screamed.
Damn. Yeah, I said like she loses those 2 fingers.
From my severed hand.
Why look like flesh is falling off her?
Now, you'll never be able to wear your wedding ring. You have no ring finger left.
So you can't get married. Like,
Right
what?
then and there, and I knew she wouldn't be able to chase me. But something at the back of my mind made me furious, too. I snatched the chopping knife from her hand and cut off her left ear. She
Oh.
screamed like a wounded chicken and fell on the floor while I screamed.
Yeah,
I
bitch.
have no interest in marrying your son.
Pick up your
I'm
fingers.
your daughter-in-law.
She kept on screaming, and I dialed 911 right away. Even though I survived, Ralph's mom lost a lot of blood and passed on the operation
Oh,
table.
damn.
The cops found Ralph locked in his room.
Wow.
It seemed that Ralph was in love with me, but his jealous, crazy mother couldn't handle it. She wanted her son to live with her forever. So to take revenge on me, she locked him in his room for a week and came to the gas station every night. I bet she waited for me, expecting one day I would show up. And I did. The cops have enough security camera footage to prove my innocence. My parents have decided to take me away with them after I recover. One thing is for sure. I am never going to another gas station alone in the middle of the night.
Hey guys, I hope you're
Damn.
enjoying the video. If
Now
so,
she
please leave a like.
traumatized.
And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel,
Hey,
and make
welcome
this
to the
channel reach
club.
the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can change your mind later. Enjoy.
3 years back when I was 17.
The fuck is wrong with
I
his
bad
head?
company. From there,
Oh, it
I
looked like
acquired a habit of doing drugs.
it was like
Anything I could land on. I was
Like
living
it
in my late
couldn't see the
grandmother's
top of his
apartment,
head.
recently dropping out of high school. I was desperately looking for a source of income to suffice my necessities. One night, I think it was around 1 a.m., I was going nuts at home because I had no way to get high. I decided to go for a walk to the gas station
That
on the
junkie
highway
itch.
and buy a pack of smokes, just for something to do. If you don't have personal experience with addiction, this is going to sound crazy to you, but once someone embarks on a mission, they cannot stop. It's like there's a cold fire burning inside you, and you have to bury it, or you'll die. It's strange.
I've seen that
Open
happen.
desperation. It's horrible to experience.
Or family members who've been addicted like that, and they just start scratching. Like I've seen their arms, their forearms, they were just scratching, just scratching. Even some that seen their legs, just scratching and up here and shit. And you just see like I mean they scratch so much they leave marks on their bodies. Yeah, it's a hell of a thing.
So, there I was, walking down the stranded highway at 1 a.m. in the morning. Needless to say, I didn't see a single human being the entire time. When I reached the gas station, I saw a small car parked on the side. It wasn't hard to guess that the car belonged to the man who was working as a storekeeper. I entered the gas station, and my eyes went straight to the counter. No one was there. The entire gas station was empty. At first, I thought the employee must have gone for a leak, so I started checking out the place. I randomly walked past the shelves when all of a sudden, a face peeked out. Looking for something, boy? What the hell?
Boy.
Jeez.
Looking for something,
See,
boy.
that scared you. I wasn't expecting someone to come out from the other side of the shelves.
Be his
So for a second, I almost felt my heart stop. The man had blonde hair, back brushed with a lot of hair gel, and crystal blue eyes that looked unsettling in his clean-shaved, slightly wrinkled face. He kept staring at me with his glassy blue stare. I somehow got my shit together and said, I was looking for a pack of smokes. Okay. Feel free to look around. When you're done,
Okay, you little whippersnapper.
I'll be waiting for you.
I'll be waiting for you. You got a pretty mouth, boy.
Now, the way he said, I'll be waiting for you, was a big red flag to me, and I made up my mind to leave this gas station as quickly as possible. I grabbed a pack of smokes and went to the counter. As soon as he saw me walking towards him, a sick smile surfaced on his face. So have you got what you're looking for? How much is this? Without doing small talk, I jumped to direct business.
How much is this?
Receiving such a prompt reply from me, his face got serious. He took the packet in his hand and asked, "How old are you?"
Old
turning 18 next
enough.
month. Why? You know I can't sell you these, as you're officially not an adult yet. I couldn't believe it. Is he giving me this age crap in the middle of a highway for buying a pack of cigarettes? My irritation crossed the limit. And I said,
That's true.
"Dude, I can get many more of these things without turning 18. This is just a pack of smokes. So enough of your stupid nonsense." You don't care to respect people, do you? Seriously, it's 1:30 in the morning. Who cares if I smoke a pack? Just do your job, man.
I mean, he technically is doing his job.
I'm talking to you calmly. Then stop annoying me and just take the money, bro. Fine. I will sell you this. Thanks a lot. But only on one condition. What? What the hell is wrong with you? You have to do something for me.
Yeah, you got a real pretty mouth.
But at the same time, my withdrawals were making me paranoid. I needed to smoke and divert my mind. So I thought I should be on board with this creep. I was also aware of the fact that if he doesn't sell me those cigarettes, then I'll have to wait till morning, and there's no way I was going to do that. What is it I have to do?
I can't wait till the morning.
You have to kiss me on the cheek.
Oh, fuck out of here.
What? Have you totally lost it?
He's underage.
I'm a very lonely man. So kiss me on the cheek and take your cigarette in return. I won't even charge you for the packet. What say?
You fucking...
I can't explain how I was feeling that moment, but I started to scratch my arm to calm myself down. If you're familiar with the effects of withdrawal, this is what druggies do when they can't get high. The man looked at me up and down and said, "So, have you made the decision?" Now, what I'm about to say might sound completely disgusting to you, but like I said, I wasn't in the right state of mind. I thought, well, it's just...
Is he gonna bite him or some shit?
If he wanted, he could have asked me to do more, but he just asked for a kiss on the cheek.
He could have asked you to suck my dick.
There's no one else, so no one will know. Then I noticed the security camera above the entrance. I'll do it, but you have to turn off the security camera. I can do that, sure. His filthy fingers, covered in dirt, wiggled on the keyboard.
Wait, this
and the
dude
red
work
blinking light
here?
on the security camera went off.
This
in
dude
less
does
than
not
seconds.
work here.
He then turned at me and grinned.
Maybe he does. He did just cut the
Come
security
close.
camera off.
It's time. I was breaking inside. I could realize what addiction has done to me for a pack of cigarettes. I'm letting a creepy old man abuse me, but I had no way back. I was in deep shit. I slowly leaned on the counter.
That was a
and the man
deep
raised his right
shit.
cheek for me to kiss. I
Oh.
knew the more I linger on this, the more difficult it would be to do. So in one swift motion, I went to kiss his cheek, and that's when he pulled out a bizarre stunt. Just when my lips were about to touch his
Yeah,
cheek,
hey buddy.
he turned his face to me and made me kiss his filthy lips. It happened so quickly that I couldn't move away. His gooey saliva got stamped on my lips, and I vomited on the floor.
Oh, damn.
You're worse than a girl. Bloody moron. Vomiting over a kiss to
I'd
the
have
lips.
beat his ass. He'd have got
He
Will
went on
Smith
insulting me
slapped.
while I was letting my stomach out.
And
Tears
then
rolled down my
Mike
cheek,
Tyson punched.
realizing I have lost my self-worth. The man blew more kisses in the air, staring at me, and went on laughing in between. His crazy behavior was beyond explanation. Look how that little Barbie is crying now. What happened, Barbie? You lose your pony?
What?
I just couldn't take it anymore. I threw a punch, aiming at his eye. He didn't see that coming, so my strong punch knocked him on his cheekbone. Even though my knuckles got hurt, I didn't stop. I threw the second punch on his nose, and the lower portion broke,
Ooh,
spitting blood all over his clothes.
not his
I could
tooth
see the
out.
nose being thrashed with my one punch.
Ooh, one punch, man.
Broke my nose! The man grabbed his bleeding nose and started cursing me. I quickly snatched the packet of cigarettes from the counter and ran as fast as I could. His painful scream kept echoing behind me. I'll call the cops. I'll tell them you tried to rob the store. After injuring me, I'll end this incident. Don't you dare think you're gonna get away with this.
He did cut the
But I
camera
didn't
off.
stop. I ran and ran, and his voice slowly faded away. I didn't sleep the entire night after getting home. One thing I was pretty sure, that he had no evidence against me. So
Yeah, he
even
didn't
if goes to the
record.
cops and claims that I was robbing him, he won't have any footage to prove that. On the contrary, the cops will be suspicious of him for turning off the security camera all of a sudden. So I was safe on that front. After that incident, I stopped doing drugs forever. I joined a rehab group, and now I'm working in a garage to pay my bills and live a clean life.
Damn, that made it.
Crazy man
Made
at
him
the gas
clean his
station.
life up.
I hope we never meet again.
He beat that too.
My name is
Good.
Gray, and I
Piece
used to
of
be a
shit.
truck driver a few years ago. At the time, I was recently given a new job to transport some goods. Now, this new job often kept me on the road late at night, as there were back-to-back deliveries, and my route was mostly on the outskirts of town. Due to being on the road most of the
No,
time,
was he a local
I
truck
often found
driver?
myself stopping for
Like a
gas.
dedicated route?
One particular night, I stopped at a strange gas station called Anderson and Sons gas station. I got down, put the pump in, and went into the gas station store. As I walked into the store, I felt a chill.
Why is he dressed like Marty
Something
McFly?
didn't feel right. For starters, there were about 5 people in the store, and they all sported black trench coats.
The
That
fuck?
wasn't the only strange thing.
Some
that I
cult shit.
as they all hung their heads low, so I couldn't make out their faces. When I walked up to the cashier, who was also sporting something similar, the man said something very strange to me. Howdy there, friend. Would you like some dog soup? Shocked. I looked at
What?
the man with a baffled expression.
Like hell
To
no,
be
no
honest,
dogs.
What bothered me wasn't the weird statement. No, what bothered me was the fact that the man was still saying it in this day and age. You see, the term dog soup was a popular slang used in the 1930s for a glass of water, and the only reason why I knew
Really?
what it meant was because my grandfather used to say it all the time when I was a kid.
Hmm.
After
I'm about to
2
look
minutes of
that up.
silence, I
Dogs.
replied by saying, "No, thank you." After the short, weird conversation, I continued to browse through the store. I then decided to get a chilled beer to drink later when I got home from work. As I took it to the counter to pay, the cashier said, "You're driving, ain't you? You better not get scrooched." I had a bewildered look on my face as another odd 90s slang term was used because the term scrooched meant drunk. I was beginning to get scared now as I had an uneasy feeling.
Scrooched.
So I replied to him, "No, just pack it up for me. I'd like to go now." I could tell the cashier knew that I felt uneasy as it was written all over my face that I didn't want to keep talking to him. So he said, "No need to get all uptight, friend. I'm just bumping gums."
Bumping gums. I haven't heard that in a while.
Another odd 90s slang popped out
Bumping
of his mouth
gums.
as the phrase bumping gums meant making small talk. Alarmed now, I quickly took the bag and left. On my way out of the store, I wondered why the cashier was speaking like he was living in the past, as I was not sure many people would understand him in this day and age. And the only reason why I could understand him was because I was very close to my grandfather as a kid. So I picked up.
Well, I've heard that because I did live in the 90s.
And having long conversations with my granddad. I racked my brain for an answer to my question, but after a while, I decided to brush it off. So I entered my truck and continued on with the trip. I managed to deliver the goods in the next 4 hours that followed, and after everything was settled, I started making my way home. It was 2 a.m. now, and I noticed the truck was running out of gas again. I drove for a while before I came across another gas station. As I drove closer to the gas station, I had a weird feeling as the place looked a bit familiar. It was dark, and I wanted to get a better view, so I looked outside my truck's window to make out the name of the gas station. And before I could say anything, I froze, because staring right back at me were the words Anderson and Sons gas station. For a moment there, I thought I was hallucinating, as I was sure that the location of the Anderson and Sons gas station was still 1,000 miles away from here. I was scared.
You only
so I
drove
didn't get
4
out.
hours,
I
1,000
decided to find
miles.
another one. So I started the truck and drove for about 30 minutes before coming across the same gas station, Anderson and Sons, that I had just left behind. I started to freak out as I thought my mind was playing tricks on me, but I calmed myself down and proceeded to drive in. Everything in my body told me to leave, but the gas tank was extremely low, and I knew the truck wouldn't last long enough to find another gas station. In order to calm my mind, I told myself that they must be a chain gas station, which would logically explain the numerous locations. So I got down from the truck and I started filling the tank. Thirsty, I decided to go into the store to get a bottle of water. And as I walked into the building, I couldn't speak as my skin went white. Right in front of me were the exact same 5 people I had seen at the first gas station over 8 hours
There's
ago,
2 people
as they all donned the same black trench coats and their heads were all hung low.
behind the
It
register.
seemed like some sort of sick deja vu, as my mind couldn't comprehend what was going on. I racked my
Okay,
brain
so he
for an
filled
answer,
up,
but there
drove
was
4
no
hours,
logical reason
then
as to
drove
why
4
I
hours
was in the
back.
same exact gas station at a completely different location. My mouth started to stutter the words, "No, no, no," as I slowly began to back out of the store. As I walked with my back towards the exit, I accidentally bumped into one of the people wearing the black trench coats, and as the man rose his head to apologize to me, I screamed. It is extremely difficult to describe,
What
but the man's morbid face was a charred skull with pieces of burnt flesh dangling off of it. No
Okay,
words could
dude,
describe the
you
fear and
hallucinate.
horror I felt.
You need to
as
get
all
some
5
sleep.
of them now faced me, and each of them had the same ghastly appearance. With no hesitation, I bolted out of the door and ran towards my truck. I threw the gas pump on the floor, and I rode at full speed all the way to the nearest police station. When I got there, I immediately rushed in, screaming, and the 2 cops came out to calm me down. They
And
asked me
2
what
cops
was
shot
wrong,
him to death.
so I began to tell them everything that happened that night. When I was done, they looked at me with a perplexed look and told me that I must be tired, which would explain why I was seeing things. I then firmly said that I was sure of what I saw. So in order to calm me down, the cops decided to pull a file on the Anderson and Sons gas station enterprises, but after their research, they had a shocked look on their faces.
They
The
were like,
gas
oh
station
shit.
called Anderson and Sons hadn't been operational since the year 1934. The file stated that there had been a horrible accident that same year as one of their stations blew up in a terrible fire, killing only 5 people who were present at the scene. And apparently, the aftermath and repercussions of the sad incident put them out of business for good. With nothing left to tell, I stood up
Yeah.
and left the police station without saying another word. The next day, when I dropped the truck back at work, the on-site inspector who normally inspected the trucks asked, "How'd you make it home without gas?" Appalled by the strange question, I asked, "What are you talking about, sir? I'm pretty sure that I filled up the tank twice yesterday night." The inspector then replied to me, "Well, that's impossible, Robert, because the gas tank is completely empty.
That's
The truck
impossible,
shouldn't have been
Robert.
running." With no feasible way to answer him, I simply kept my mouth shut and walked away.
He's just like,
The incident seriously took a toll on my mental health.
he just left
And
that
after a
job.
few weeks, in order to attain peace of mind, I decided to do some personal research on the strange gas station. After a few hours of reading through articles and documents, I came across a similar story online. Apparently, it happened about 30 years ago, in the year 1991, as an old truck driver also claimed to have visited the Anderson and Sons gas station. The story was exactly similar to mine, but the old man ended his own experience with, "No one needed to tell me, as I already knew that those poor souls were stuck here, doomed to appear and assist anyone looking for gas in the dead of the night."
Yeah, why they in the hoods? Like they're like cult members, some shit. Are they in hell? The fuck people in hell wear hoods? Like, what the fuck is going on there? Well, I mean, in my life, I've been to quite a few gas stations at night in the middle of nowhere. Like I've driven off highways where the nearest gas station was. You had to get off the highway and then drive like another 4 to 5 miles off the highway to get to the gas station. You know, I've been to plenty of places like that where people look creepy or they see me and they're like people don't usually come around here at night, and this or this late, And even when I drove tractor trailers, get out but usually at truck stops are a lot of people that a lot of truck drivers there sleeping and stuff or going in and out taking showers. So it's pretty busy at like, truck stops. But when you driving a car and you pull up to a gas station and nobody else is there in the middle of nowhere and nobody else is there but you and the attendant, and then especially in the gas station. I've been in gas station where they are surrounded by woods, and you just like, I remember there's one particular one when I used to drive back and forth. Well, I used to drive from Oklahoma City to St. Louis, and then I would drive from St. Louis to Chicago to visit my dad in St. Louis, and then visit my mom in Chicago. It was a Shell gas station that was it was in Missouri because I remember it was an adult like video store not too far from it. Well, maybe like 70 miles, probably something like that. It's been a long time since I've driven that distance. I went down to St. Louis not that long ago, but from St. Louis to Oklahoma City, it's been like since I haven't driven that since 2013. But it was like a Shell gas station, and it was like right off the highway. Like you would get off, drive around. It was like, but you could see it from the highway, but it was surrounded by like trees, and then it was this road that just went straight down. And one time, my GPS told me to go down. I think it was like one of the second time I drove to St. Louis from Oklahoma City, and my GPS told me to go that way. I just went that way, which was dumb because it rerouted me that way for some reason. I ended up going out the way. All I had to do was get back on the goddamn highway. But that was like, I think that was like the second. It might have been the first time, but it was one of those times, first or second time, and ended up going away and then driving. I think I drove like 10 miles down that road and then turned around and came back and then just got on the highway. I just turned. I said, "This doesn't seem right." It turned around, but it was surrounded by trees. It was always uh, the same attendant, and he worked there. It was like a young guy. He was probably younger than me. Like he might have been a teenager. But he could have been the same age before I know, because then when I first did that drive, I was 21. Um, and then, like I said, if it was my second year, then I was 22. Well, I was still 21 because I hadn't turned 22 yet. But I remember seeing him because he always had his hair shaved on the side, and he had like a lot of hair on top of his head, but he would flip his hair over to one side. So it was almost like when you see some women like they side their hair is shaved and they had their hair growing like on the top, and they flip it over so it exposed the shave side. Except he had both sides shaved. And I remember because he was like that for years. He was a young guy. And he seemed like a nice guy. Like he was very talkative when I go in there. So it wasn't like anything weird. You know, it wasn't like something weird like he just staring at me one day. But I drove back. What year was this? I want to say it was after I got back from Afghanistan. So it had to be after. It was after 2011. Because I drove back home when I got my apartment. When I got back, I stayed with a friend for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I got an apartment. Then I drove home like a few months after that same year, and he was gone. The guy, I saw he wasn't working anymore, and it was a much older guy working there. Yeah, I was older. He was definitely older than me. Like he might have been in his 50s, maybe even early 60s, working there. And it was another person. It was a girl working there. She was like she probably could have been my age. Maybe she could have been younger. But they were working there. And he was just like the dude was just like staring at me. He was like I don't know, maybe he thought I was gonna steal something, but he was always like kind of like looking at me until I walked in the aisles. Like, and even like I remember one time because when I came back, I stopped at a gas station because I'm the type of person I don't stop unless I have to fill up gas. Like I or I have to use the bathroom. I've held using the bathroom from one time. I had to use the bathroom as soon as I left Chicago. I think I got like maybe 40 minutes out of Chicago, and I had to use the bathroom. Mind you, it's like a 12-hour trip from Chicago to Oklahoma City, and I held it that whole time until I got home. But I remember he was just like, and it's not really that weird to me because I've had people like even when I was a kid, like people like looking at me like thinking I'm about to steal something, so they'll follow me like around the store and stuff. So it wasn't really that weird to me. But he only thing was he never really came from behind the counter. Like the one time he walked around just because he lost sight of me, he was like and just kind of like looked around to see me. And he was just like staring at me. And the girl was like, I remember she was like mopping the floor. First time I saw her, and then it was another time because after that I only went one more time, and that was going to Chicago and then never driving back. And she was working there, and I didn't see the old guy. She was working the counter now. And I remember thinking like she's kind of cute. Like I remember seeing her. Like I was like, oh, she had a nice little body on her too. I was like, well, where's she from? But I don't know. And then I remember one time I was kind of thinking like, oh, is he? Because she was like, she was very talkative, and I was like, is she trying to? In my head, I'm thinking, because this dude was like creepy, and I'm like, she trying to like tell me he creepy or something, but I mean, she wasn't. And I was like, because he was just, but he was more being creepy towards me than her. Like he wasn't doing anything to her. He was like looking at me, like just. I mean, his eyes weren't like that, but he was just like he would just stare at me, and I was the only one in the store. He just like, and like look at me, and like I said, he never really came out around the counter to like follow me until one particular time he like kind of stepped out, just to, like he was like looking like like his tippy toe, like he was trying to see me, and I was just like, you know, but yeah. Anyway, talking to my. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. Whenever you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're here. Hit that bell if you want me notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see you next time. Peace.